Howdy, howdy.
Yeah, you beat me. You beat me.
Well, I didn't change either.
Oh, oh, yeah, I did.
Oh,
Up the
you look,
wife, going to bed.
oh, nice. You look great.
Thanks, man. $5 Old Navy shirts
Hey,
buried in them.
can't beat it.
You seriously, like, you can't, man. Like, I think it's a cheat code. I'm gonna be like 58 wearing fucking Levi's and a $5 Old Navy t-shirt.
I took a lease out on your heart. I took a lease out on your heart. Can I at least have fun? Can I at least have fun? Can I at least have fun?
Welcome back, everybody. We are Draft Research. You are the audience, and together we're on a quest for Dynasty Down Mountain Nation. How's it going over there, Daniel?
Pretty good, man. I mean, we're just inching closer. This is that like everyone's got an opinion time of the world,
Yeah,
between the combine and the NFL draft. It's like
hearing
you
some
just gotta,
wild stuff.
yeah, man. It's insane.
hmm
Still, there's still active free agents out there. Hats off Stephon Diggs,
Hey,
dude, getting
yeah,
that
yeah.
retirement deal.
Must love Diggs.
Absolutely. Must love paving the streets with gold, dude. I think he's gonna be okay with not winning, but he's definitely got gold bricks in his closet,
Oh
so
yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be set for life. He already was, but even more so.
straight up. Yeah. How are
So
you doing, Christian?
I'm doing well. As of release of this episode, I will be all moved into my new apartment, hopefully. Little peek behind the curtain. We're doing doubling up. So I'm still recording on the same day as the last episode, but
Really? They would have never known.
that's fair. Except that I'm here.
Oh,
And I did say I was moving, but semantics. No one cares.
your
Nobody
new room looks a
cares.
lot like your old room. It's
It
kind of
does.
weird.
It looks weirdly exactly the same.
Mhm.
It's kind of crazy.
You should paint.
But but we are here to talk about our last fourth of the round of 64, and that is our journey to Atlantic City, kind of. The Atlantic version of the bracket. So if your state touches the Atlantic Ocean, this is where you ended up in the bracket. So, some of the southern states, Florida, Georgia, all of them, South Carolina, North Carolina, those kind of states, all are here. So we are going to talk about it and get to our actual round of 32. So without further ado, we can just head straight into this with our number one seed, Omarion Hampton, running back out of North Carolina, going up against the 16 seed, running back out of Georgia, Trevor Etienne, a name you might recognize.
Yes, ETN. What I'll be doing around lunchtime. ETN.
But this one was not hard. Some of these are a little hard, but this one was not. Hampton is quickly becoming one of my favorites of this draft class, and we'll get to him further down the road. And ETN, but ETN is solid, man. He's solid
He is solid,
in
man.
everything he does. Fundamentally sound. I think he has good
There
decision
you go.
making, good vision. No wasted movement is really what I liked about him. It didn't really feel like there was a lot of like fidgeting or a lot of back and forth stuff. But to me, his biggest question is upside and home run potential. If he ends up in a team with a clear starting path, I'll be kind of all over him in rookie drafts. I like guys that are just so fundamentally sound that I'd expect him to get 10 points a week, every week, but
Oh,
maybe not much more than that if he was the
sure.
starter. I'm skeptical that he would get much more than that very often.
I don't know. It's got that little brother coming out of Georgia vibes, dude. I mean, I know we weren't like huge James Cook guys coming,
Yeah.
out of the
hmm
gate, but I like dude, I really I mean it just blows me away how much I like this guy more than I
Okay.
expected to. And it's like it's his style. He's got like a pro style.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like
Mhm.
I like the way he gets small behind the line, and is patient when he's running up the middle. And then he really like hugs the O line when he's cutting to the outside. He's just extremely stealthy, and he just knows when to break up field to get the most out of his runs. And as a receiver, I thought he looked really natural, found space, and kind of just like stayed open, letting the quarterback find him. And I don't know, the way his running style in the open field was probably my favorite thing about him. He like maintained his forward momentum while adjusting laterally. Um, it's kind of like he just kind of looked like a bit of a juggernaut out there. But he didn't really have like power. This is a tough class because the guys that have power as a runner are really making these other guys look kind of weak.
Hmm.
But as far as style alone goes and versatility, I thought that old Trevor Etienne was doing great. I like
Yeah.
him.
No, I don't know that I'm on the same level as you are, it sounds like with him, but I did like him. And yeah, just that solid fundamental way in which he handles his business is really fun to watch. And I do think we'll get him a spot on a roster and could lead to some production depending on like kind of what's going on said roster. But unfortunately, he's going to end in the round of 64, and Omarion Hampton is moving on to the round of 32. So our next matchup is number 8 seed Raheim Sanders, running back out of South Carolina, going up against our small school standout, the number 9 seed in Marcus Yarns out of Delaware. To me, this is like an interesting matchup of opposing kind of skill types. Sanders is big and powerful. Yarns is small and explosive, with speed and burst. And to me, I lean slightly towards Yarns here. And it doesn't seem like you're on the same page.
No, not even close. But we can hash it out, man. There's certain things about yarns that I really liked, but there's like one major thing about Sanders that I liked, and that's the touchdown number.
Uh-huh.
He's got 22 touchdowns on 193 carries. That's insane. It's one touchdown every 8.8 carries. And out of all of the running backs in the bracket, the best number after that is 10.5, and Ashton Genty had a touchdown every 12.7 rushes. So just I don't know, the ability to score just on command with that limited amount of opportunity. I don't know, man. I got a little amped watching him, man.
Hmm.
But Yarns had upside too. I mean, he's a serious player. The way he lined out in the slot and like really ran routes extremely well for a running back. I could go either way on this one, but I am leaning Sanders. You could convince me otherwise, though. I'm susceptible to your influence.
So yeah, I like Sanders. I do. And like that's a good point about the touchdown numbers. It's pretty crazy, especially comparing him to Yarn's six, you
Yeah.
know. But there's numbers that I don't like for Sanders. I mean, like 4.8 yards per carry compared to Yarn's 6.4.
Yep.
They both did pretty well in the receiving game, actually. Sanders
Yeah.
ended up with more yards, but on 10 more catches, and he only had like
7 more targets.
4 more yards or 14 more yards. My math's terrible, but not a
Mm,
lot, like
It's
almost
14.
20. But and then Yarns had 5 touchdowns, so that ups his number to 11 total. But obviously Sanders has 24 total. And Sanders did do a little better on the 40 than I was expecting. Not that that's the be all end all, but what?
Well,
Go ahead.
I mean, he's got like 30 pounds on the guy and they're running the same 40 time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear you, but there's not a lot of RBs did the agility drills at the combine though,
Right.
and Sanders scores at his pro day put him at the very bottom of the rankings in both the three cone and the shuttle drill.
Sure.
And though Yarns wasn't like that different, I guess. I just think his explosiveness and speed shows up a lot more than it does with Sanders. He's definitely a straight line, like run to the house guy. He's not making, he's forced less missed tackles than Sanders did by 14. Uh, Also had like 60 less carries though.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
and
proportional.
and I don't know. I think I just at the end of the day, Sanders is like a bruiser with really good speed for his size, which is super valuable. I don't think that should be twisted, but I just think if I'm swinging on one of these guys as a sleeper, I think Yarns just has more like upside potential. But maybe I'm wrong.
No, I'll give it to you. You know me. I'm willing to go along with you, even if you know, you know.
Well, I
I like
mean, I was 50, not necessarily 50-50 on this one. I
um,
like yarns, and maybe it's just I want Delaware to still be in it. But I mean, if you feel strongly about Sanders, I will let Sanders go because like this isn't one that I'm like convinced of either way. It was more of a like if I'm gonna because I think at the end of the day, I think both these guys are dart throws and like have potential in the right place, but more than likely are rotational guys that might get some pop. And so I just lean with the guy that could take one to the house more often, in my opinion. But if you feel strongly, I will concede.
no, I'm going with you, man. I'll take it.
Okay.
You're a trusted friend of mine. So I'll just tell you a few things I didn't like about Sanders.
Okay.
Um, I think the main thing I didn't like about him was he didn't have a lot of agility.
Yeah.
He wanted to just run the line he was on. He wouldn't abandon it. And any moves he did make, they were like fake out type moves. Like he wasn't actually doing, any kind of a juke or anything. He was just kind of like, I'm gonna move my upper body a little bit, but I'm
Hmm.
not actually getting off of my line. Um, so that kind of bothered me. And then now I'm looking up some more stats, and he only had 11 touchdowns. So you can just forget everything I just said
Wait,
about the
what?
touchdown thing. Yeah, I know, I know. It's all right, man. It's not my fault, but I'll take one for the team. Um, but yeah, I don't know. He had a lot of power, good size, good speed combo. And I liked him when he was in Arkansas. He had the 1,400 yard season as a sophomore with 6.5 yards per attempt. So that kind of bummed me out that he dropped off with an injury and then changed schools and didn't really get back to that. But I do think he's got a lot of potential. But you're right, Yarns, it's kind of a wild card. So if you want
Hmm.
to, I think that he probably does have the ability to take this next step in a better offensive system.
Yeah. I could,
Yeah,
yeah, and that's kind of where I was leaning with it. It's like, yeah, where did that 22 come from? I'm sorry, man. I don't know where that came from on the spreadsheet. That doesn't make sense. I'll fix it right now. Oh, you know what? It looks like I accidentally copied RJ Harvey's. Did RJ Harvey have 22? That sounds right.
I think so. Yeah.
Let's look it up. I think somehow I've been doing a lot of this on my tablet at work. Uh, excuse me, not at work. I'm doing only work at work.
Dude,
I couldn't
yeah,
possibly.
you got to be
And
careful.
that thing fucking sucks and will just kind of move stuff around quite a bit on that I'm not meaning to. So yeah, it was definitely that something I was doing with RJ Harvey moved over to Sanders. So that makes a lot more sense, but
Yeah,
okay. Cool. So we will move
it's less of a big deal now.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Yarns wins for sure.
Okay, cool. So we will move Marcus Yarns, number 9 seed, small school standout, moving on, and Raheim Sanders is staying in the round of 64. Moving on, we've got our 5 seed, Bhaysshul Tuten, running back out of Virginia Tech.
It's gonna be a rough bracket for us, man.
Yeah. And the 12 seed, Arian Smith, wide receiver out of Georgia. Where were you going here?
I guess we're going with Tootin, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Tootin wins, man. Tootin common. He's pretty good. I'll give it to you. I'll tear him down on the next episode,
Okay.
but I'll let him have another day in the sun. But dude, I really liked I liked Arian Smith quite a bit. Um, coming out of Georgia. It's just fun to watch him. Like he was strong. He looked strong and like serious. He had good presence in his routes.
Hmm.
And for the most part, he was like wide open all the time.
Yeah,
And
I do remember that. Yeah.
it just bummed me out. Like, come on. Like he could have had such an explosive season if he had just been, connecting with the QB, but instead, he finished 5 years at Georgia with only 1,300 yards, 800 of which came on this past season, and only four touchdowns, which is it's just not like it's not out of this world. So he loses this matchup, but I do think that he's got a ton of skills, and he was just man, he just kind of rotted on the vine. But his good releases, I thought he was a superb blocker, like engaged as a blocker.
Huh.
Um, yeah, you don't know. He disagrees. But he didn't show the best hands in the world to seal the deal. He had
That's
a
true.
ton of drops, 17% drop rate. He only had two of eight contested catches. So that's kind of why I'm like, not a big deal. I'm not gonna die on that hill with
Hmm.
him, but 17 yards per. So I thought like he looked great throughout, the routes off the line,
Hmm.
with the ball in his hand, but then like it was the getting the ball into the hands that really he needs to overcome that weakness to get up to his potential. And I think he's got a chance to do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I liked Arian Smith. He's super fast. He's agile. Almost 50% of his yards came after the catch, which is cool. I
Mhm.
think he tracks the ball really well, and can adjust and try to make difficult catches. I do think, like you pointed it out, nine drops, hands are pretty inconsistent, and I think he's easily disrupted with contact. 25% contested catch rate this past season. And I actually maybe we just watched different games. I didn't think he was that great in rushing, like run blocking situations. Although pulling up PFF now, he got a 58.8 in run blocking grade, which isn't like great, but it's not terrible. And could certainly be improved. So yeah, I do like Smith. I was surprised at like how much juice he really had and how much I kind of enjoyed watching him. But I do think he needs work to operate at the next level. And Tootin, I think, had he not had such a massively outstanding combine, this would have been closer to me. But the production plus the combine really kind of sold it for Tootin for me.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out my Tootin thing because he looks good, but there's something off about him. There's
There's
something I
something you
just
don't like. I
something
got
I
you.
don't know. I'll get it. I'll get
Well,
it. I
well,
won't be
you'll
ready right now, but I'll be there.
Well, audience, you will have to join us in a few weeks and we'll find out together what was off about Tootin. But for now, he is moving on to the round of 32. Arian Smith is falling and staying in the round of 64. That brings us to our four seed matchup. The tight end out of Miami, Elijah Arroyo going up against the 13 seed Tai Felton, wide receiver out of Maryland for the Terrapins. Um, Arroyo sadly hasn't like done any works outs this offseason due to injury. I would have loved to see how he tested. Because to me, he looks great on film. Athletic, big. He's a strong blocker, with and just has a consistent presence in the receiving game. Felton, though, also looks good. Had a strong combine, 4.37, 92nd percentile burst score, and a 9.61 RAS. I think he's spicy, and I'm gonna pay attention to where he goes. Though I don't know. There's just some stuff like there's stuff that I don't love. Kind of like Aaron Smith. The hands were a little inconsistent. Eight drops this season. Seems to be thrown off by contact. He's a bit of a smaller guy. I'll get you his height and weight here in just a second. 6'1", 183. So not like he's tall, but like a little thin. Seems like some contact throws him off. I also think he has a ton of juice, but he seems sporadic sometimes. And I don't know, like I talked about Trevor Etienne and not having any wasted movement. I don't know that I feel the same way about Felton. I do think under the right coaching, he could develop into like a pretty good playmaker. But I also think Arroyo could do that same thing at tight end. So I'm just leaning kind of the tight end here.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I'm with it. I like Arroyo a lot. So,
Oh, were you not though?
I mean, it was hard for me with that production and the lack of off-season workouts to
Hmm.
argue for him, but
Gotcha.
I'll take it, dude.
Well, I mean,
So,
if you want, hey, we're an open conversation here. Do you think Ty should move on? I'd love to have a Terrapin in the th round of 32.
me too. I liked a lot of Ty. I think I was going that route,
Okay.
honestly. But Arroyo is I guess, if he's losing here, then I can just talk about him. But yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
considering
I think I originally wrote down Felton. I think the
as a
drops,
winner.
yeah, as a winner.
Okay.
The drop scared me. It usually does. I'm very terrified of that drop number. But I mean, you gave me yarns, so I can give you Felton, and you can talk about Arroyo here.
Well, I mean, I like Aurora better. I just think Felton makes a better case for winning this matchup.
Okay.
Shit. All right. What is it? Felton loses?
If you're good with it, that's where I had it. But
Okay, that's fine.
okay.
Okay, well, I'll talk a little bit about Felton. I think man, he flashed like extreme quickness and he turned his hips really well when he was moving through his routes, which I really liked. The straight line speed obviously is out of this world. But the thing that got me with him that made me kind of iffy is it was like a surprising lack of separation for a guy this fast and this
Hmm.
feisty. So that was a red flag, but he really did well pulling the ball down with the guy in his face and he got some really, really crummy balls thrown his way
Yeah.
when he was being successful. Like he was doing everything right. They just couldn't get the ball to him. So for those reasons, I think if you give him, obviously a well-rounded NFL situation, I think that he could probably capitalize in a big way. He just has to figure out how to be more fluid in his routes and use that quickness and those change of direction skills along with the speed because he wasn't running away from guys like he should have been with all those traits. So we'll
Hmm.
see.
Yeah, no, I think he's an interesting another guy. There's a bunch of guys who like I don't think should win this round of 64, but I'm definitely intrigued to see where they go and like we'll be keeping an eye on them. And he's one of them. He fits in that profile for sure. Because everything you said, I completely agree with. But unfortunately for him, he's going to stay here in the round of 64. No Terrapins in the round of 32.
Get gone.
The 4 seed Elijah Arroyo moving on. Got some tight end representation, which is nice.
I
Uh,
like that.
Going to our next matchup, we've got the 6 seed running back out of Rutgers, Kyle Monagani, Mangai or something. I wrote it out and now I forgot how I was supposed to say it. So apologies in advance. It was not how I pronounced it the first time we talked about him, so that was unfortunate. But running back out of Rutgers, going up against the wide receiver out of Virginia Tech, Da'Quan Felton. This one was tough for me, but not in the way that I like it when it's tough. It's like
Oh no.
I don't particularly love either of these guys, just to be honest. Like I I'm going with the running back here because he had decent production throughout his career. Felton's never topped 670 yards or 8 touchdowns. That was in 2023, which is, that's good. It's not terrible. But this season he played 14 games, had 360 yards and 2 scores, which is not good. 0 games above 100 yards, only 2 over 50. I do think like there is some cool stuff about him. He's pretty quick. And I think he has good concentration. I was watching the Stanford game, and there was a pass that was like low and away, and he had to like grab it from behind, and he was still able to turn up field for like a 50, 60 yard TD. But I just kind of
It's a nice
see
play.
it was. I kind of just see him as like a 4 offense or maybe a 3. on a bad offense? I
I
don't
thought you were
know.
just talking about a scale of 1 to 10, you know?
Oh no. Well, tell me why I'm wrong though.
Well, I think I've got Felton losing as well.
Okay.
And a big reason was that Stanford game was his best game, was 84 yards on 4 catches.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I thought he did a lot of things well, like ran strong after the catch, and the route execution was pretty good too.
Hmm.
But he just doesn't he doesn't have the resume
Uh-huh.
to, I mean, I don't even know if he's going to get drafted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that kind of it was just crickets for him. I mean, old Rutgers Kyle there, I've got a ton of issues with his game, but
Yeah.
at least there was stuff to pick apart, with Felton.
Uh-huh.
You kind of just, I mean, this is going to be crazy. I would be shocked if he, jumps out as an NFL starter at any point in his career.
Yeah, I feel that way about both these guys, but kind of like what you're
Sure.
saying, at least the resume for Monangi, whatever. That's what we're going with for now. At least his is a little more um solid, I guess. But yeah, I don't really see either of these guys going forward. Honestly, had these guys not faced each other, neither one of them would have been moving on, in
Yeah,
my
true.
opinion. But for now, running back out of Rutgers, our sixth seed is moving on, and Da'Quan Felton is staying put.
Okay.
That
Oh,
brings us
geez.
to our third seed, Xavier Restrepo, going up against the 14 seed Montrell Johnson Jr., running back out of Florida. Restrepo is obviously the wide receiver out of Miami. His pro day, Restrepo's, is trending, but not in a good way. He ran a 4.7, 4.8 40, so not a
Jesus.
great time for a smaller guy. Now, I did find some information on this.
Okay.
It is worth noting that Restrepo said his poor 40 time was due to he pulled his hamstring right before they were going out there, and decided to still run because, or sorry, like the day before. But he decided he would still run because he'd been hitting the high 4.5 range and thought that he could still do it, and then just didn't. Um, I don't know. I don't want to lean too much on the 40 here because the tape for Restrepo is really, it's solid. It's really good. It was a guy that I was really in on when I first watched him. He uses his agility and the route running to opponents. It's not like his speed was what he was using to get around people. So I still think that could be used in the NFL. And I'll be keeping an eye on where he's drafted. Um, and like kind of how it goes. And then Montrell Johnson Jr. in the same kind of breath, I think he's a solid back with really good instincts. And again, I'll be keeping an eye on him as well. He tested well at the combine. He ended up with a 9.61 RAS. The lack of production scares me a little bit. Less than 600 yards on the ground. But I do think in the right situation, he could be a factor. But I think I still give it to Restrepo. I think the 40 time is going to hurt him moving forward in the tournament, but I don't think it keeps him out of the round of 32.
No, dude, I'm going to Restrepo all the way, man.
Okay.
He gives me he's our Roman Wilson this year, man. He
Okay.
gives me the Roman Wilson vibes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep that light on, maybe it doesn't matter. Roman, we're still pulling for you, homie. But yeah, I like that Montrell Johnson. I mean, the dude was straight up typing with his toes, man.
Mm,
He's very light on his feet, always moving. It was I don't know, it was cool to watch him because his feet were always just little kind of floating on the ground. And so he was always able to easily adjust and change directions. And then the way he had his short power steps, he could really drive really well with his little tiny steps. And he was always hopping and he could plant and change lanes. His feet were always just pitter-patting down the freaking field, and he was able to do whatever he wanted because he was just
hmm.
floating. But the production, not so much. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's cuts and just his
Yeah.
lateral movement and just his freaking I don't know, man. His little tap dance was pretty awesome to watch. So we'll see what he can make of it. But again, it is drowning in competition here at
Yeah,
this class.
100%. I do. I like him in the right spot. I like him as a rotational guy who, again, with injuries or whatever, could see a little more playing time. But yeah, I don't think he's got enough juice to beat Restrepo. So Restrepo moves on to the round of 32, and Montrell Johnson Jr. is staying in the round of 64. That means we are on to our 7 and 10 matchup. It is wide receiver Kobe Hudson out of UCF going up against RJ Harvey, running back out of UCF. So a little teammate on
Yeah,
teammate action here.
got a
Uh,
little friendly fire here to end the episode.
yeah, well, we got one more after this.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, duh. Also friendly fire. That's why you said that. Never mind. I'm on board. I got the joke. Haha. Anyway, I think this is probably the easiest matchup of this side of the bracket to me.
It's
Um,
brutal, man.
I think I can explain why
Okay.
in the fact that when I was watching Kobe Hudson's All 22 film, I saw a shit ton of RJ Harvey. So
Yeah.
like that just to me kind of explains what like I don't know, he's just definitely the more exciting prospect. Had a good combine, really good production. I mean, Harvey is sitting at oh, let me pull it up here. I didn't write it down. 1,500 yards, 22 touchdowns. He was the real guy
The
with
real
22, the
22.
real 22. And then ran a 4.4 flat, 89th
Yes, he
percentile
did.
burst score. He just looks great, and I'm excited about him. Hudson, he's got good footwork. He moves pretty
Let's see what we
quickly.
got.
Acceleration seems good, had decent production, 700 yards, only 2 scores though.
Mm,
But only 3 games over 100 yards. All the rest are under 80. So that's not great. Doesn't do much after the catch, 770
no.
yards, and only 180 of those were after the catch. And I think he had issues with contact from the games I watched, but then you look at his contested catch numbers, it's like right around 50, so it's not like terrible. But I don't know, just in terms of pure juice, Harvey runs away with this.
Oh yeah, I got a real Harv on my friend, but yeah, looking at Hudson, it was, dude, I thought it was fun to watch him because he was modulating his speed and kind of like toying with people.
Yeah.
And he could hit some quick footwork and kind of take off and everything like that. The routes I thought looked pretty good. And then you get at the combine numbers, he's running a 4.57 at 193 pounds. And it's like, oh, this guy was modulating his speed because he would have just got ate up if he was trying to go, go, go. And it's a yeah, 3.8 yards after the catch uh per catch.
Not
So
gonna do it.
no, it's bad. Cool little player to watch like a game or two on, but I think I'm gonna kind of forget about him as we go full Harvey vision.
Yep, I'm with you. So we've got the 10 seed, RJ Harvey moving on, and the 7 seed, Kobe Hudson, teammate action down, staying in the round of 64. And another teammate versus teammate matchup coming up. That
Yes.
was the joke that flew over my head. Our 15th seed, Damien Martinez, going up against the 2 seed, quarterback Cam Ward, both out of the University of Miami. I mean,
Miami.
Cam
Too soon.
Ward is the likely number 1 overall pick. So it's like
Yeah.
it's hard to argue against him. I will say don't sleep on Martinez though. Like I think he could be a defactor depending on what team he lands on. He's got good burst, not great burst, but good burst, 66 percentile. Not amazing, but still good. It's where you want to be. Decent top end speed, and I do think he gets there quickly on tape, maybe a little quicker than that burst score indicates. I think he has good vision, but I think his best trait is the ability to just kind of brush off contact and keep running. There's a Florida. I was watching the Florida State game. There was a one of those situations where he like hit and got piled on, and people were trying to push him, and it was like, oh, this is gonna go another yard or two and gonna be over, and then all of a sudden you just see him spin out of it. somehow and then take off and gain like another 50 yards. And which was like really cool to watch. And I just think he's constantly pushing forward and he's not afraid of contact and he bounces off it really well. But yeah, he doesn't I don't think he has like the upside to compete with Cam Ward here.
Sure. I mean, Cam Ward, we're going to talk a different story about Cam Ward. Um, I think when it all comes down to it, but he wins. He wins. But dude, watching Martinez was kind of crazy. He's a really interesting player, and I thought he danced too much, man.
Okay.
Like every carry, he was doing like this left, right dance thing, and it worked. It worked really well sometimes, and it was cool. But then so he did like left step, big right step, and then pop, and he took off, and it was great. But sometimes he ran into his own guards. Sometimes he ran into a wall of defenders, and sometimes he just needed to hit the hole and go. But he still like had this routine of doing this little dance step. And then he takes that ski step style up the field, and it's shifty and it's cool, but sometimes it just felt a little unnecessary. But the guy had success, man. It's like, yeah, the 6.3 yards per carry this last year, and then he comes out just right at 1,000 yards per season for 3 straight years after starting at the Oregon State the past 2 years and going to Miami. So he's definitely a successful player. I just kind of got a crack out of his style, man. It just kind of cracked me up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I can see what you're talking about when with the kind of like over
Like,
motion and
this
stuff.
is what
So
I do. This is what I do. Like,
but
dude,
I
yeah,
I did like him.
versatility.
He's a fun player and I think will be a good accent to a backfield and a guy that I'll look forward to if again, I keep saying this, but a guy that like I'd be interested in if um, falls in the right place, or maybe the injuries pile up for the team that he's on. But yeah, very comfortable moving Cam Ward forward, and Damien Martinez staying put, which gives us our first of all gives us our full round of 32 for the entire bracket, but
Yeah.
also gives us a Atlantic round of 32 that is Omarion Hampton going up against Marcus Yarns, Bhaysshul Tuten going up against Elijah Arroyo, the running back out of Rutgers going up against Xavier Restrepo, and then RJ Harvey going up against Cam Ward. So there you have it. We are done with the round of 64 completely. Moving on to the round of 32 starting next week. But until then, we've been Rough Draft Research. You've been the audience, and we'll see you next time.
All right, we're gonna get this thing rolling on round of 32. All right, chugga chugga choo choo. Here we go, baby. We got this.
I took a lease out on your heart.